Are we having a recipe for disaster in the aerospace industry? In this presentation, I will reflect on the recent troubles of a powerful multinational like the Boeing company, and how it drags massive economic losses to many companies around the world and threatens thousands of jobs. The Boeing company accounts at least 150,000 employees in the United States. The Boeing commercial division has an annual spending of around 43 billion and involves more than 5,000 suppliers factories with 500,000 suppliers employees. Also, 70% of the Boeing commercial airplanes revenue historically comes from customers outside of the United States. Without a doubt, Boeing has been a top industrial engine of the United States, and it's also a top manufacturing exporter. Likewise, it is important to mention that one of 100 American workers is employed either directly by a Boeing or its domestic suppliers. For that reason, it's very important to pay attention to Boeing performance and business environment. Even though that the commercial aircraft global demand has been growing, Boeing issues are challenging the business and affecting the whole aerospace industry. Issue number one, the Boeing 737 MAX aircraft crashes, has killed 346 employees. As a result, 737 MAX air fleet has been grounded since early this year until further notice. The 737 MAX grounding has impacted one of the Boeing's top source of revenue and is disrupting Boeing's customers and the whole supply chain, nationally and internationally. As today, the 737 MAX issue has cost the airliners and the supply chain an estimate of $4 billion every quarter. The 737 MAX disruption demonstrates the level of global business interconnection. As an example, there are 397 aircraft grounded around the world by different airliners. These are causing the cancellation of thousands of daily flights. From all of the grounds, aircraft 70% are owned or leased by non-US companies. In the meantime, the Boeing resolves the 737 MAX issue. Boeing continues manufacturing these planes at a lower rate but without being able to deliver them to the customers. As a result, the Boeing inventories have gone up to 6 billion year to date. This decision to produce planes has helped to mitigate disruption of the Boeing's workbase and key suppliers. However, the 737 MAX issue has started to hit domestic and foreign suppliers. As an example, Spirit Aerospace Company, which 50% of its sales are fuselage to the 737 MAX, has started to put workers on unpaid leave. Other suppliers like the Safran French company, which has a joint venture with GE, also got being hit. In spite of the 737 MAX being grounded, Boeing still has open orders of almost 5,000 of these aircrafts. However, no new 737 MAX orders has arrived. I believe that the 737 MAX issue will be an opportunity for Boeing's rival Airbus to gain more market. The same way will be for the upcoming Chinese aircraft, COMAC. Issue number two, the controversial Trump-China trade war. The rhetoric tweets of President Trump continue raising tariffs to Chinese goods will hurt the Boeing company. Boeing needs a stable and healthy trade with China. The trade war should be avoided because China is Boeing's biggest export market. China plays a decisive role in Boeing's business future. Historically, China has maintained an even balance of aircraft orders between Boeing and Airbus. Now, having a trade war, China might use Boeing to retaliate the US trade war by shifting more orders to Airbus. The Chinese company COMAC plans to deliver the first aircraft by 2021, which hopes to compete with Boeing 737 and the Airbus 320. If this new aircraft event is a success, it will begin the end of the historical aircraft duopoly between Boeing and Airbus, and this will trigger a new international trade dynamics. It is hard to understand the latest comment from the US president stating, "We don't need China. Frankly, we will be better off without them." Even though that international free trade effects have had some negative outcome to the US, I believe that protecting the US without a plan is not a good solution. Due to the level of globalization, business integration, and markets interdependence, I see it as very difficult for local companies to sustain, grow, and be competitive without international trade. A trade war with China not only will hurt the US consumers, but also several US industries that are trading with China will be at risk. As a final reflection, international companies need to collaborate and diversify. Boeing needs to accelerate the fix of the 737 MAX in order to stop an economic impact. Lastly, it is crucial that the US government reconsiders the current international trade policy. Thank you. Material sources.